Well, Dolphins fans, welcome into Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, where we are live here to talk Dolphins football. But as we were about to push stream, wild NFL news. Micah Parsons has just been traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers. Now, this does not impact Miami in really any way. The Dolphins do not play either of Dallas or Green Bay this season. And obviously, those two teams play in the NFC. So the trade doesn't really impact the Dolphins whatsoever. But it is as crazy of a blockbuster NFL trade this close to the start of the season as you will ever see. If you were wondering about the trade details, at least as of right now, all I've seen is that it is 2 first-round picks heading to the Dallas Cowboys from the Green Bay Packers, and then the Packers sign Micah Parsons to a 4-year, $188 million extension worth $136 million in guarantees. A wild blockbuster trade, which is absolutely stunning. But we're here to talk Dolphins football. So we'll answer questions about the Parsons trade if you want, but like I mentioned, it doesn't really impact Miami, so we'll talk Dolphins football. But welcome in, producer Coop, as we are live here on Thursday afternoon. Shout out your city for me down in the comments section. And Coop, you are a Cowboys fan. Granted, you don't really care for the Cowboys as much as I think most fans do.
I would say so.
So what is your quick thoughts on the trade?
Yeah, it's wild. Look, I've said for the last year or so that I would have traded Micah Parsons last offseason, and the Cowboys didn't do it. They elected to hang on to him, and then they got into this entire saga that ends up in him eventually going to Green Bay. So while I do think that this is the right outcome for the Cowboys, the path in which they got there was very convoluted, and they are just an incompetent organization.
Yeah, and it's just wild to believe they really traded him. I get it. That's a large contract to hand out right there.
No doubt.
But man, oh man, he is, to me, without a question, a top 10 player in the National Football League. And if you're power ranking players that you'd want to build a franchise around that is not a quarterback, get rid of every QB out there, I think Micah would be in the top 5 if you did a fantasy draft of just players in the NFL due to his youth production at his position. But my, oh my.
Well, now, and Dallas is no stranger to trading elite talent away. So.
No, yeah, we know they're not afraid to do that. And I will say, them doing it to a team in Green Bay, which has just flat out owned them for their entire 2000s of NFL football. So basically ever since the heyday of Dallas, it's been Packers owning the Dallas Cowboys. I have a bunch of Cowboys friends from Rochester, where I grew up. I feel actually terrible. I usually root for my friends' teams to fail because I think it's hilarious to watch other people be miserable. Well, I'm always miserable, so why don't I want them to be miserable too? This is the one time I feel bad. My Cowboys friends, they hate the Packers more than anything. And to trade your best young player to them, that is as heartbreaking as it gets.
You missed my joke about Dallas trading away elite talent.
No, I got it.
You did?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Come on. Oh, my. What a wild day in the NFL. Let's give some shout-outs, though. Shout out to XI. What's up, Time Man? Milton Henderson, Ruski, Dolphins Empire, Vincent, Ryan, MDW, JB. Says hello from the 585. I already mentioned Rochester, New York. John is in Endicott. Endicott? I've never heard of that. Not Ellicott, New York, right? I know Ellicott, but not Endicott. David's in Alaska, Hollywood, Florida, Daytona, Michael Wright, BR, Orlando for Kevin. Castle Rock is in Hawaii. Ruski says, hey, Nick, gonna get that Jason Marshall. Whoa. Ruski, you showed me the clip, my friend. The clip that I said, if Jason Marshall Jr. starts and is good, I think. I'd have to rewatch the clip now. I don't think it was just if he was a starter, but maybe I'll have to go back and watch, Brewski. I wouldn't screw you over if you were correct. I'd have to go back and watch the clip again. What's up, Sean Strauss? Chris is in Fort Myers, Florida. That's where my parents live. Shout out to the great Greg and Chris Rohloff. Shout out to John Williams, who says it's near Binghamton. All right, or Bington? All right, cool. Let's keep the chat rate flowing, folks. What is the best position group on the Dolphins? What is it? Which is the best position group? Is it wide receiver? Is it edge? Is it linebacker, quarterback, running back? What's the best position group Miami has?
It's wide receiver.
Really? You think so?
You have Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle, who are probably 2 of the top 20 in the league.
Definitely 2 of the top 20.
And then you have the likes of the Washingtons. You have, what's his face, who I'm blanking on, the number 3. Malik Washington. Malik Washington as well, who also helps you on special teams. Like, I do think it's a really good group.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good crew. I still think it's edge. When you have that core 4 of Matt Judon, Chop Robinson, Jalen Phillips, it's just a great group. Bradley Chubb, obviously. So I could see wide receiver, but I'm more of an edge. That's kind of where I view it. But
yeah, Chop, Jalen, and Chubb is hard to beat for sure.
And then you add Judon in there. I think that's the top one. Man, crazy day here in the NFL. I can't get over it still. Micah Parsons traded to the Green Bay Packers. I know most of you guys are tuning in here for some Dolphins coverage, but hey, we cover the NFL as a whole as well. Do you like the new rivalry jerseys? I absolutely do. I think they're fire. I think they're the best ones out of the group.
No, they're sick.
And that's not me being biased.
No, I think they're badass, man. Like, maybe when we wear them, we might have to do like a giveaway or something.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be dope. I think they wear them week 4 against the Jets on Monday Night Football. I believe that's the first time we play or we use them. We're going to wear them twice this year. I think against the Jets and then maybe against the Bills at home in November, or maybe it's against the Patriots in Week 18. I'm pretty sure you wear them twice, I think.
Yes, you do wear them twice.
The first one is definitely against the Jets in Week 4. The question is it going to be in Week 10 against the Bills, Week 14 against the Jets again, or Week 18 against the Patriots? I do like the 49ers a lot, though. I do like the 49ers. It's not black. Exercise is both Jets games, so Week 14 and Week 4. Okay, cool. Doesn't surprise me. I just couldn't remember the second one. Speaking of this season for the Miami Dolphins, what will the Dolphins' 2025 record actually be? Let me know your thoughts. What's your record prediction? We're going to get into my record prediction here in a little bit, but let me know. How's our new kicker? We put up his numbers in a video the other day. He's not bad. Nothing crazy. Nothing special.
Is 12-5 the ceiling for this team?
I mean, if they won 12 games, I'd be doing the truffle shuffle on stream.
The truffle shuffle.
I just don't think that is really in the cards. 12-5 is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe it. Oh, man. Does the New Jersey come with the OG logo? No, it's still like the current logo, but altered colors. MGW says 7-10. Feels a little bit down on him. Ruski 11-6. Tristan says 10-6. That's not possible. 11-6 from Sylvian. 9-8 from Chris. 9-8 from Brandy. Dwayne says 10-7. I know, Micah Parsons of the Packers. Wild stuff, man. Absolutely.
First and a frontline player going back to the Cowboys.
Could it be Rashawn Gary? I would have to imagine that the trade would be to pair Gary and Micah up, but...
Or could the Cowboys be going to get Romeo Doubs?
When they say frontline player, I would imagine that is a defensive lineman.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, that's
or maybe an offensive lineman.
Do y'all need an offensive lineman? I guess so.
Oh my God, their offensive line's horrible.
Yeah.
The Cowboys and Packers play Week 4 Sunday Night Football, by the way.
Oh, I'll tell you this: if you're the Cowboys, you're gonna really need that player to be good in the return. Why do I say that? Because the trade, and you have to imagine, Coop, that the picks the Packers are giving up, that will be in the low end of the first round. Like, I'm talking in the late 20s.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the Packers are going to be good
So
for
it's
a
like,
long time.
Is Micah really worth giving up? I know the contract dispute and all that, but late 20s picks and a player. Like, that player's got to be pretty good, in my opinion. It's Kenny Clark.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's Kenny Clark. I don't know. I know he's a solid player, 29 years old, but how good is Kenny Clark? 1 sack last year, 17 games.
So not a frontline player.
He's more or less. He is a 3-time Pro Bowl. He's a nose tackle though, so not really a pass rusher. Did have 7.5 sacks in 2023 though, Coop.
Okay then.
3-time Pro Bowler, 2019, 2021, 2023. So hypothetically, he's alternated Pro Bowl years since 2019, so 2025 Pro Bowl year.
I'm in. Cowboys did need a nose tackle. I mean, they were going to rely on Mozzie Smith, who is an absolute joke of a first-round pick.
I'm curious to see what Downey has to say about that. Where's that?
He's got to be crashing out.
Yeah, but I just more or less want to know what his reaction to Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is a good player, at least. Okay. So Kenny Clark and 2 first. Coop, before we start moving into Dolphins football here, though, what are you, now that you know the full trade details, or at least we think that's the full details, not enough, enough, more than enough?
I would say enough.
Enough.
2 first-round picks and a really good player in Kenny Clark. I'm cool with that. Like I said, I was okay with trading Micah. I think it's the way they went about it that wasn't good. I don't hate it whatsoever, to be honest. I would say it's good enough.
Okay. Now, who's the edge group in Dallas now without Micah?
See, now that's the problem. You really don't have a lot.
So is that defensive line going to be really bad this year?
It's not going to be. I think it certainly took a step back, but the interior took a step up.
I mean, I just don't know who y'all got. I don't know how y'all got. All right, well, we've talked a lot about the Micah Parsons trade here in the build-up portion of today's show. If you're ready for the real show to start, hit that thumbs up icon. We got 183 people watching. We've been talking a lot about Micah Parsons here in the first 12, 13 minutes of the stream, but we're going to start getting the real Dolphins football, Dolphins news, and talking about this Dolphins roster. But let's get that like button up. We need to get to, let's say, 75 likes to get the show started. We're at 45. Got 182 people watching. We can get 30 more likes here. So once we get to 75 likes, we'll get into the live shows that we got scripted here.
Hit that like button.
Hit that thumbs up icon. I'll also add this, folks. We don't really have a super chat menu, but you know what? Every $20 today, I'll do 10 push-ups. The people like the push-ups. I like doing the push-ups. I'm not going to work out later tonight. So every $20 today, 10 push-ups.
Let's do it.
So we get to $20 super chats, 10 push-ups. We get to $40 super chats, 20, 60, 30. You guys get the memo. So I'll offer that out to y'all. Nothing crazy, though. But keep on hitting that thumbs up icon. Coming up live on the show here today, Miami Dolphins news. We got a lot of injury news to break down, as well as some roster moves that the Dolphins made on this Thursday morning. We'll also take a look at the Dolphins roster, go through position group, give my thoughts after the 53-man roster was unveiled this week and some waiver claims was made. I'll also give you my final record prediction. I did a Dolphins record prediction back in May when the schedule was initially released, but after the full training camp, preseason, cutdown days, trades, I'm going to re-go through game by game and give my honest thoughts on if I think Miami can get a win or a loss in each of those games. And then we'll wrap up the show with a Dolphins Q&A. So super chat or use hashtag Dolphins in the live chat to get a question on the live show. We'll do that to round out the episode.
We'll try to get through that one in one take this time.
Yeah. Before we get into the news, though, we did get a $20 super chat where we could flash it on screen and have a good time here, folks. It's going to be a good time. Shout out to JB. JB, next time, make sure you Get on the mailbag, ask a question as well, my friend. Shout out to UJB. Appreciate the $20 super chat, which means 10 push-ups are coming here in just 1 second. But Coop's going to flash that on screen, and then we'll get that rolling, baby. We'll get that rolling. Oh, JB, don't say you're bad. I'm just saying for you. We're doing a Q&A, so might as well get a question in there to guarantee your spot in the mailbag. Shout out to JB with the $20 super chat, starting rolling. So JB wants to get the push-ups started. Remember, every $20 in super chats is 10 push-ups. So we're going to get 10 push-ups getting rolling here before we get into the first segment. Give me a countdown, Coop.
3, 2, 1, go.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, sir.
I like that we got a little workout type beat rolling here. I mean, y'all like doing the push-ups with me or seeing me do push-ups, making me do push-ups. I like doing them. Listen, we like to drink and have a good time on the show as well, but if we can not drink as often, that'd be great by me, man. It'd be great by me. I like drinking. Not that much, though. Not that much, though. All right. With everything that's gone in the first 17 minutes of this pregame, I guess build-up, I should say. Let's get into the first segment here on Dolphins Today, which is recapping all of the injury news and updates around this football team in the last 24 hours. So, Coop, when you're ready, let's get it rolling. We have some news to discuss here on Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Nic Rohloff, and I think it's pretty great news for the most part here. Mike McDaniel spoke to media members on Thursday morning and provided updates on some injuries as well as a roster move that the Dolphins made. We'll start with one that caught my eye. Ashtyn Davis, the safety that Miami signed in free agency to a one-year deal, stealing him from the rival New York Jets. He got hurt in the middle of training camp. Remember, it was a foot injury. He was in a walking boot for a while, and just late last week before the preseason finale, he was out of the walking boot at practice but not participating. Well, McDaniel today claimed that Davis was returning to practice on Thursday and would not rule out his availability for week 1 against the Colts, because if he did, he would punch him in the face, which obviously isn't the case, but it speaks to Ashtyn Davis' intensity and his want to play on the football field. And this could be an absolute revelation for the Miami Dolphins. When that injury occurred to Davis, many people, including myself, thought he could start the year on IR. Well, it's because the verbiage that McDaniel used when describing the injury initially, he said that it's not season-ending, but he will be out for a chunk of time. Well, I hear not season-ending injury, and I'm like, okay, that's good, but that also tells me he's going to be out 2 months. That's not the case. He might be ready for week 1, and even if that's not the case, he should be ready to roll at some point in the first 4 weeks of the season, which is a massive jolt to this Dolphins secondary. And before we get into more around the Dolphins, hit that sub button. I'm trying to set a record here on the channel. Last year, in the month of August, we picked up 1,300 subs. 1315 to be exact. We're trailing that by about 70 right now. Hit that sub button, join the channel for daily Dolphins coverage. I also want to top last year's number. Let's look at the Dolphins safety depth chart now, because after some moves that were made, it's down to 5 on the 53-man. I always projected Minkah Fitzpatrick and Ashtyn Davis to be the starters for this Dolphins back line when everybody was fully healthy. I do think Ifeatu Melifonwu will start early on, but that is how I forecasted it. And with Davis potentially being back sooner rather than later, that could still be the case. But I will say this. When it comes to the season opener on September 7th against the Indianapolis Colts, I would expect Ifeatu Melifonwu to be that second safety, with Elijah Campbell still being that third safety. Davis might have a chance to play in week 1, but if we are going to be honest here, it is probably more smart to have Davis be a healthy and active that game and just give him an extra week to return, and then maybe we can see his Dolphins debut on week 2 against the New England Patriots. That is how I envision things starting in the safety room early this season. But we also got to talk about Tyreek Hill, because he is back after not participating in practices for about 2 to 3 weeks. He was officially at practice on Thursday for the Miami Dolphins. McDaniel asked about Tyreek, said that he will do some stuff on Thursday's practice, and he has just suffered no setbacks. Miami's making sure he suffers no setbacks. And Mike McDaniel said Tyreek Hill looks great. And a couple reports from practice on Thursday reported that Tyreek Hill was moving extremely well. And it is an oblique injury for Tyreek, so it's an interesting one because oblique injuries are very strange. Like, they're not going to impact the way Tyreek Hill is agile-wise or being explosive, but it will impact you reaching up to catch a football. It will impact you getting hit on the side, making maybe some upper body movements. So it's tough. Like, you don't want to risk a setback, but it's not anything that's going to keep him out and really hurt the way he plays. So it's good that Tyreek is back, and I'm glad that he is practicing with the Fins once again and is on path to play in Week 1 against the Colts. And I want to welcome Tyreek Hill back to practice. So get down in the comment section and spam those 10s, his jersey number, to welcome Tyreek Hill back to the Dolphins. So we talked about some good news early on in this episode, but I do want to make note, it is not all sunshines and rainbows. Jaylen Wright, the second-year running back, not good injury news here. He actually had a small procedure on his lower body. We know that he got banged up in the joint practice against the Jacksonville Jaguars, didn't play in that preseason game, was seen on the sideline with a compression sleeve. McDaniel said that he did have a small procedure. Now, it will not be season-ending, and he expects Jaylen Wright to be back sometime in September. So a very real likelihood that Jaylen Wright could be put on IR. There's also a realistic outcome where he's not. If McDaniel's being truthful in his statement about him being back in September, that would signify, well, he's probably not going to be put on IR, because if you are on IR, you will miss the entire month of September, where Miami's final game, I believe, is like the 29th or 30th of September against the Jets at home. But him not being put on IR isn't the worst thing in the world. I'll also say if he's going to be out for 3 weeks, though, it might be better to put him on IR and bring him back after, so you could sign like a player like Jeff Wilson to the 53-man roster instead of just burning out his practice squad game day elevations. But there's one clear winner in all of this, and I hate to call it a winner because of an injury, but Ollie Gordon RB2 season just continues to go up, up, and up. He has been the most consistent and best running back on the Dolphins roster the entire preseason. Now, Achane, in the one game that he played before suffering an injury in practice, had a great 3 carries for 22 yards against the Bears in Week 1. But Gordon, in his preseason, 26 carries, 126 yards, and a touchdown, averaging 4.8 yards per carry. And he went from RB4 to RB2. Now, Jaylen Wright gets hurt. Alexander Mattison out for the year. That will obviously help Ollie Gordon's rise, but he has earned it as well. Physical, 6'2", 226-pound back. He is going to be the short yardage and goal line back for the Dolphins early in the season, and I am feeling good about him potentially making a difference for this football team based off what I've seen in practice and in the preseason. More news to get to here in a second, but how about getting started with Prize Picks, the daily fantasy sports app I play every day? And football season is officially here. College football this weekend. We got professional football next weekend, and I'm getting on the action as I always do. All I do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you can do the same. And if you get your picks right, you can cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money today. Best way to get in on the action, with it being available in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. They invented the flex play, which means you could still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect, double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. My entry for college football week 1 is on screen, but you could take these picks. You could fade my picks. One more time, that's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Links in the description and comments of today's video. Prize Picks. Run your game. In the wake of Jaylen Wright being banged up and having a small procedure, the Dolphins added yet another player to their practice squad, and that is a running back in JaMycal Hasty. Now, JaMycal Hasty actually is the 16th player added to the practice squad, which means, well, the roster is completely full right now. Now, that can be changed at any point. You could release a player from the practice squad, sign a player to the practice squad at any time. I want to make that abundantly clear. But 2 veteran RBs on the practice squad right now. Our former friend Jeff Wilson Jr. and now the newest member, JaMycal Hasty. Hasty played with the Patriots in the preseason. He had 22 carries for 77 yards, so not the most efficient back there. Undersized, 5'8", small guy. Has a lot of special teams versatility and special teams history. I will say this. There is a connection between Hasty. He was in San Francisco with the 49ers when Mike McDaniel was still their offensive coordinator. But I am a little bit bummed that the Dolphins did not add a young RB to the practice squad. McDaniel/Greer said that they expect to add multiple running backs to the P squad with the injury to Jaylen Wright, but they also were going to add someone with youth. Well, Hasty and Jeff Wilson are the opposite of youth, and I get it. You might want someone a little bit more veteran and chiseled, considering that your RB2 is a rookie 6th-round pick right now. But I am a little bit bummed there is not a younger running back like a Damian Martinez who went back to the Seattle Seahawks practice squad, or maybe he's trying to find another sharp player. I don't know, but a little bummed on that end. All right, we'll round out the show by showing what Mike McDaniel had to say on a couple new additions for the Miami Dolphins. He talked about Juju Brents, Kendall Lamb, as well as Rasul Douglas. We'll start with the player Miami claimed on waivers on Wednesday, Juju Brents from the Colts. McDaniel said that he loved his redirection, loved his physicality, loved how he competes, thought he was deserving of an active spot. And I agree. I love the upside here on Juju Brents. I think he is going to be someone who develops relatively nicely for the Miami Dolphins. We're talking about a guy that was drafted in the 2nd round in 2023, 6'3", 34-inch arm length, so really lengthy corner, plays with physicality, 9.99 RAS score. This Dolphins defensive coaching staff is a good one, and if they're able to teach and develop Brents and he's able to stay healthy, I truly do believe that he can be someone that finds a role on this Dolphins defense at some point throughout the season. The Dolphins added a lot of players this week, like Rasul Douglas, Juju Brents, Greg Dulcich, and Kendall Lamb with the practice squad regular. Who is the favorite player the Dolphins added this week? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. McDaniel also had something to say about Rasul Douglas, who many people believe could have been signed to be a starting corner for Miami. That might not be the case. We are not in the business of handing over possessions, particularly in a competitive environment. Rasul gives us another step in competitiveness in the room. Overall, the Dolphins are better with him. We weren't plugging and playing. We were putting him in the group and see how that shakes out. So he's not guaranteeing that Douglas will be a starter, and I'm not either. I said this when they signed Rasul Douglas. Does he eventually become a starter for Miami? Probably, but at least to start the year against the Indianapolis Colts, your 3 starting corners are going to be Storm Duck, Jack Jones, and Jason Marshall Jr. in the nickel. The 3 pictured, those are your starters. One, because Rasul Douglas has to pick up this entirely new defense and scheme, which it's not easy to do, especially after being in a completely different mindset for the entire offseason as well as the past couple of years playing for the Buffalo Bills. Duck, Jones, and Marshall Jr. know the scheme in and out. They practice together. They have rapport with one another. And those 3 will be the best connected secondary they can throw out there at the cornerback position. So I do not expect Rasul Douglas to take over as a starter until one of Jack Jones, Storm Duck struggles or potentially gets banged up, or they just feel that Rasul Douglas is the best player for them at the time anyway. Mike McDaniel also talked about Kendall Lamb returning to the Miami Dolphins. He said this is a guy that teammates were extremely happy to see come back. It's nice to have him jump back in the mix. Our team has significantly changed since he was here. And I agree. I'm really happy that Kendall Lamb is ultimately back because the Dolphins' depth at offensive line wasn't very strong. I feel solid about the starters. Paul, Savinaya, Brewer, Daniels, and Jackson, when healthy, I think are a really nice group of 5 up front. but Larry Borum and Keon Smith had a lot of ups and downs during the preseason, inspiring not a lot of confidence from yours truly. And we know Daniel Brunskill is an interior offensive lineman guy. So you really didn't have a backup offensive tackle that you can trust if Jackson or Paul went down. And although Kendall Lamb did get cut by the Eagles, signifying that they did not see the importance of keeping him around, I think he is going to be solid once again for Miami. Because last year, Kendall Lamb appeared in 500-plus snaps for the Fins and had a pass block grade of 83.1 while not allowing a single sack and only being penalized once. He was very good for Miami before he got hurt for the final couple weeks of the season. So I feel better about the backup offensive tackle situation Miami has going for them currently than I did about a month ago. So I'm glad Kendall Lamb is back in the 305. All right, hit that sub button for daily Dolphins content. We'll be back with a video later today and more videos throughout the weekend. Subscribe, and I'll see you with the video later on. Go Fins. Woo! Shout out to JB for the $5 super chat.
Appreciate you, JB.
Just because I'm from Western New York, I'd like to know how you think Miami will fare against Buffalo in both games.
So are you.
I'm from Western New York as well. Rochester. 585, baby. Hilton, New York.
Thomas Bryant.
Initially. Thomas Bryant. Isaiah Stewart. Anthony Lamb. I don't think we have any.
John Jones?
Yes, John Jones. I don't think we have any NFL players from the 585 in the league currently.
Chandler Jones?
No, I don't think he counts.
Oh.
Well, he's not in the league anymore.
Yeah, fair.
Knee crack. But yeah, I feel as if it's probably not going to go well for us against the Bills this year. And I told this to Coop earlier, and I will answer this in the mailbag again as well. I will not pick the Dolphins to beat the Bills ever again until the Dolphins actually beat the Bills. I want to be proven wrong. I will pick the Bills to beat the Dolphins every time they play until the Dolphins beat them again. Simple as that. They beat them the first time Mike McDaniel was head coach in 2022 at home against Miami. They haven't beat him since. Prove to me you beat him. And then we'll start to have a conversation. But over the last 2.5 years, Josh Allen, Buffalo, has owned Tua, Mike McDaniel in Miami. Never beat him. Got to prove to me you can beat him, man. Got to do it. Got to do it.
Appreciate you, JB.
Appreciate the super chat, JB. Appreciate the super chat, JB. Barry Jackson with maybe one of the most out-of-touch tweets I've ever seen.
Oh, no.
Ready for this? I enjoy both apples and oranges, but I don't understand why Mikal Bridges nets 5 first-rounders and Micah Parsons nets 2.
That's hilarious.
I don't want to be mean to Barry Jackson because he is very, very good at what he does. He's one of the best beat reporters in Dolphins history and in Miami history. And I rely on him for a lot of information, but that is just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, that's just not good. Look, yeah, that's a boomer tweet if I've ever seen that.
Also, the people trying to say, the people going from, oh, I can't believe they Dallas traded Luka and Micah in the same calendar year. I understand, but Luka in his respective sport,
Exactly.
It can't be compared to Micah Parsons.
It's not even close. Micah Parsons isn't, number one, he's not the best player at his position. He's a very good player. He's not the best player at his position. Number two, football is much more of a team sport, whereas basketball, you need great individuals.
Yeah.
And Luka is that guy.
Luka is that guy.
It's not even close. And I'm crashing out on Twitter at people saying that this is worse than the Luka trade.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, you're getting 2 first-round picks in the NFL and a Pro Bowl DT. I mean, you can say that's Anthony Davis if you want. But, triggering.
Yeah.
Triggering to say the least.
Tough. All right. What's up, Smith Dog?
Tyler Smith.
I mean, are we doomed already? The first carry, then by our
He'll get in there.
We're okay. Smitty, we have a super chat up on here. Would you like to answer this yourself?
No. Get him out. No. Smitty, by the way, how about they highlighted our running back in the open? Like, that's what they were talking about. They were talking about Sire. We'll see what happens. Listen, the research told me that Sire is number 1. The plays indicate someone else's RB1. Oh, there he is. 26. That's Sire.
Are we good?
Look at him. Get him out there more. Oh, it's Gaines. Sire Gaines. Yeah, Sire Gaines. Number 26. That's our guy.
Okay.
We're fine. We're fine. It's not like he's a bench guy. Yeah, like in his rushing total was like 83. He doesn't care. I mean, I thought we were going to get
I actually think it's a good trade.
Yeah.
For the Cowboys. Yeah.
It was against Georgia Southern. He's nice. He had like 126 yards in the season opener from last year. Eat the pill. Feed him. Yeah. Yeah, like it. Move the chains. We need to move the chains. I need Boise State to cover 5.5.
What's your percentage on? I'm going out. Okay, good.
Oh, okay. I was confused. Yeah. Tough call there. Tough call. All right. Let's move on to our next segment here as we're 40 minutes into the live show and we only have one segment done. That's tells us we're in for a long one here, folks, which is not a bad thing. But let's take a look at the Miami Dolphins roster for 2025. I'm going to give my thoughts on each position group and give it a grade as well. So, Coop, when you're ready, let's roll it.
Get it, baby.
We are about 1 week away from the Miami Dolphins kicking off their 2025 season in Indianapolis. And on today's show, I'm going to go position group through position group, give my thoughts, and grade the spot in the depth chart for each position group. This is Nic Rohloff. I am Dolphins Today. I said that in reverse. Hopefully, I keep you on your toes. We'll start at quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa, Zach Wilson, and Quinn Ewers are the 3 QBs on the current 53-man roster. This is no surprise, obviously. Miami gave Wilson a decent 1-year contract in free agency, drafted Ewers. He looked really good in camp at times and solid in the preseason. So you always knew the Dolphins were going to keep him. I give this group about a B grade. Obviously, when you're talking quarterback, it's more or less going to be how the QB1 is. And that's where I grade Tua right now. I give him a B. Now, I think Tua has a lot of good things going for him. A lot of things that doesn't go good for him as well. Obviously, injury concern. Obviously, lack of arm strength. But the truth is, this quarterback group is better than it was last year because I will still take Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers over the Tim Boyle, Skylar Thompson, Tyler Huntley experience you had 1 year ago. So it's an upgraded QB room from a season ago. Let's hope Tua can play 17 and ball out for Miami this year. Go follow us over on Instagram at Dolphins Today. IG is the handle. We're 49 followers away from 1,100. We talk more Dolphins football over there. We have posts. We have short form content. We got a lot of stuff. So go give us a follow right now. The Dolphins running back depth chart looks like this right now. And I will say I will likely shift Ollie Gordon up to RB2 with Jaylen Wright being banged up. And Ollie Gordon just might be RB2 for the rest of the season regardless. Devon Achane should be ready to roll week 1 against the Colts. At least that's what Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel said, dealing with that calf injury. Alec Ingold, obviously that fullback special for the Dolphins that Mike McDaniel absolutely love. I give it a B+. And you know that before the preseason and training camp started, I said that the running back room for Miami might be the best position group that they have because I love the depth of Achane, Gordon, Wright, and Madison. But Wright getting banged up, Alexander Madison out for the year. You only have 2 backs that are healthy, and one of them really isn't that healthy to begin with, which is Devon Achane. So him being banged up, Jaylen Wright missing a bunch of time in September, is why this grade is a little bit lower than what it was probably at the beginning of training camp. but I still feel very confident in the running backs for Miami this year. Moving over to the wide receivers. 6 wide receivers on the 53-man roster right now. Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, and Malik Washington. D. Eskridge and Taj Washington are the 2 depth pieces here. And guess what? I feel very good about this group. I think this is either the best or second best position group that the Dolphins have. I give it an A grade. You have, I think, probably the second best wide receiver duo in football. I won't really hear anything else. I know they had a down season a little bit last year, but the only wide receiver duo that I will confidently say is better than Miami's is the Bengals. Jamar and T. Higgins, yeah, no one's better than Waddle and Hill. I'll take Waddle and Hill over Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. I will, because I think Tyreek's better than A.J. Brown, and I think that Jaylen Waddle's better than Devontae Smith, if we're going to be honest. So I love this group. The wide receiver room is so deep. I believe anybody could step in and contribute. I've talked in depth about how I think Malik Washington is in for a big role for Miami this year. I love what Nick Westbrook-Ikhine brings to the table in terms of his blocking and physicality and ability to impact the Dolphins' red zone offense. And then Taj Washington and D. Eskridge both had excellent preseasons, so I'm very excited to see what those 2 can bring to the table as well. What a great group of 6 wide receivers Miami has. Let me know what your best position group is on the Miami Dolphins. Is it a wide receiver? Is it a running back? Is it the edge group? Let me know what your best position group is for the Dolphins in 2025. Moving on to tight end, Darren Waller, Julian Hill are your 2 starters with Tanner Conner as that tight end 3. This is, spoiler alert, the lowest graded roster position group that I have. I give the tight ends a D. I think it's absolutely abysmal. I don't really trust Darren Waller to contribute that much. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I have to eat crow and put a sock in my mouth in the middle of the season because Darren Waller's on track to have 600, 700 yards and is a threat in the red zone offense for Miami. But I don't have confidence in Julian Hill. Tanner Conner is not really anything special. And Darren Waller hasn't played real football since 2023. I think it's without a question the worst position group the Dolphins have. Final group that we'll talk about on the offensive line here. Patrick Paul, Jonas Savinaya, Aaron Brewer, James Daniels, and Austin Jackson are your starters. Kendall Lamb was added this week to create 4 depth pieces. Borum, Lamb, Keon Smith, and Daniel Brunskill. I give it a C+. I can't get to the B's. I can't do it. I want to, but I'm a little bit concerned of the depth. And even though Kendall Lamb returns, and I like that a lot, I still don't feel overwhelmingly excited about it. So that's why I give it a C+. I think the starting group is like a B, B-, but you also have to factor in we got a little bit of an unknown at left side of the floor with Patrick Paul and Jonas Savinaya. So we'll see what happens there, but I think a C+ grade is fine. There's a chance this gets elevated throughout the year, but they got to stay healthy, folks. All right, we're going to talk about Prize Picks now, the sponsor on today's show, the daily fantasy sports app I play every single day. And with college football here, I am so fired up. And you got professional football getting underway next week as well, where you can get in on the action for Saquon, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. I know, but he does go more a lot, folks. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. You get picks right. You cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. I've got an entry in for the first weekend of college football. Less than Haynes King passing yards, less than Arch Manning passing touchdowns, and more than Deshaun Bishop rushing yards. You can make it a power play where you got to get all 3 right. You can do a flex play where you got to go 2 or 3. Flex play, you can miss a pick and still double your money. How about that, sports fans? Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Let's move over to the defensive line depth chart where Zach Sealer and Benito Jones are your 2 projected starters. Kenneth Grant, the rookie first-round pick, is that D3. And then the 5th-round rookie out of Maryland, Jordan Phillips, is your D4, with Matthew Butler, the veteran, and the 7th-round rookie Zeke Biggers being the final two pieces of this defensive line depth chart. And I think it's an A-. I am very high on this group. One, you have the most underrated defensive lineman, I think, in the National Football League in Zach Sealer. And we know in Miami how good he is, but I don't think the rest of the NFL does. Benito Jones is a solid nose tackle who played really well for Miami last season. And then what we've seen from Kenneth Grant and Jordan Phillips in the preseason and in the training camp practices, I'm very bullish on these two being impact players for the Fins right away. So when you add these two youthful, hard-nosed, athletic, versatile defensive linemen to Benito Jones and Zach Sealer, I think it's a really good group. I'm fired up for these guys to get after it this year. Move over to the edge department now, where you got Chop Robinson, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, with Matthew Judon as that fourth edge, and Cameron Good is the fifth edge. Good will likely be inactive every week, I feel, as if everyone is healthy. He'll be inactive / a special teams guy. I give it an A+, though, because the way I was scaling these grades is how would I feel about them in terms of 1 through 10. And I thought number 1 for the Miami Dolphins was edge without a question. I think it's an A+. And then you know what? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think the 5 edges Miami has is the best group of edges in the entire National Football League. They just have to stay healthy. Find me a better quartet of edge rushers than Chop Robinson, Jalen Phillips, Matthew Judon, Bradley Chubb. I just don't think you can. Cam Good's a throwaway. Those front 4 are so elite. I'm excited to watch them work and get after opposing quarterbacks every single week. Best position groups for the Dolphins. I'm giving it an A+. Fill in the blank. Dolphins have the blank best pass rush in the NFL. Get down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts right now. Moving over to the linebackers. Jordan Brooks and Tyrell Dodson are probably your 2 starters. KJ Britt and Willie Gay Jr. are your 2 backups. Miami only keeping 4 linebackers. They've usually kept 5, but feel very good about these 4 right now. You know what? I feel very good about these 4. I'll give it an A-, very similar to the grade that I gave the defensive line room. I mean, I think that Jordan Brooks is one of the most underrated linebackers in football. Tyrell Dodson was solid down the stretch last year. Willie Gay Jr. has been a menace in practices and in the preseason games. And KJ Britt's a thumper you can put in and have him get rolling in the red zone or short yardage situations. I think it's a great and deep room, and hopefully there's no injuries there. But even if you have one injury, any 3 of those guys are capable of starting any game. Moving over to their secondary, starting with cornerbacks, completely new look room here with Storm Duck, Jack Jones, and Jason Marshall Jr. being your starters. Rasul Douglas was signed this week as your CB4. Juju Brents claimed off waivers, CB5, with Ethan Bonner as your CB6. I give it a C-. It's just still the second worst position group Miami has. Like, tight end and corners are the 2 worst without a question. And I do want to say this, though, without being too negative, I do think that the cornerback room is improved. The addition of Rasul Douglas and Juju Brents raised this grade significantly. Just last week, before roster cutdown day, I probably would have graded the cornerback room at like a D with the tight end room. But with Douglas coming around, with Juju Brents coming around, I feel a little bit better of it. So it goes from a D to a C-. Still the second worst group on the roster, if you ask me, but not as worse and bad as it was. Final position group we're grading today, the safety room, where it's Minkah Fitzpatrick and Ashtyn Davis as your probable 2 starters when everybody's fully healthy, but you'll likely see Ifeatu Melifonwu start in week 1 with Davis still being a bit banged up. And I do like the depth Miami has here. Melifonwu, Davis, Elijah Campbell, really good rotational guys to move with and behind Minkah Fitzpatrick. Give it a B-. So not high, not low. A lot of question marks because you don't know how impactful Melifonwu and Davis can ultimately be, but I do still feel pretty solid about it in general, and that is the final group that we take a look at here. So I'm going to give you my final and total Dolphins roster grade, but let me know yours right now. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. My overall Dolphins grade is a B-. You saw a lot of good things that quarterback, at wide receiver, edge, D-line, linebacker. But with those deficiencies at tight end, at cornerback, the offensive line question marks, I think B- is a fair grade. It's also a grade that tells me, hey, this team stays healthy. They could absolutely fight and make a playoff spot. But it also, with a couple injuries, could go really, really south, and they're going to be 6-11 picking inside the top 10 this year. Like, I hate to be that guy, but the Dolphins could be very volatile. They can either, if everything goes right, 10 to 12 wins and in the playoffs. A couple things go wrong, they could be picking in the top 10 and winning 6 games. Either way, we'll be here for it all, so hit that sub button, lock us in here for the entire season of Miami Dolphins football, because we'll be live for every game and videos in between each week as well. So subscribe, and hopefully see you this season. Woo!
We didn't grade special teams.
Yeah, no, I did it on purpose.
You just don't think they're people?
Jake Bailey and Joe Cardona, what are we doing here? I really got to grade them.
I mean, Jason Sanders.
Technically on the 50-man roster.
Yeah. I guess.
Oh, man. Okay. Woo!
What a day.
What a day. I've had a crazy day.
Yeah, you have had a crazy day.
I've had a crazy day. I can't believe this, man.
The Parsons?
Yeah, I really can't.
You know what? I can believe it. Like I said, I think they should have traded him last offseason.
Sunday Night Football.
Week 4.
In Dallas, too.
Oh, yeah.
Does Micah Parsons get booed?
No.
You think the fans are mostly on his side?
Yeah.
I would actually agree with that. Yeah. They mostly hate, what's his name? Jerry Jones. Yeah.
Jerry Jones is probably the worst GM in the history of sports.
Wow, Ricky Scoop says he's retiring.
Done. Hill said maybe see you March 26th.
Yeah, he ain't doing anything, man. He's gonna be back at the first sign of things. You think Aiden Hutchinson
He'll be back at the trade deadline.
Aiden Hutchinson signs extension? You don't think he's coming back to gloat about that?
He's coming.
Yeah, come on. I kind of already forgot what I put in as my.
What?
I forgot what I did for my prize picks lineup for today's games. I'm pretty sure Smitty and I wanted to take them more than on Byron Brown rushing attempts, 14. I accidentally hit the less. Let me text Smitty to make sure.
Way.
Let me make sure. This is going to be detrimental. Sacks do count because he got sacked on the first possession, didn't scramble, and that counts as 1. Wow. Brutal. Hey, start to get your Miami Dolphins questions in. Hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get on the show. We got a segment of me doing a record prediction, final one, and then we're going to do a Q&A. So let me know your thoughts. Get on the show. Hashtag Dolphins Super Chat. We got one question from our guy, JB. But let's get more.
We've got 2 other questions. So
we got 2 other questions. We got 3 total. Probably trying to get about 8 or 9 questions in there.
You can ask anything regarding the Dolphins, from trade rumors to players on the team to anything surrounding the Miami Dolphins. Get your question in. And make sure they're good ones, because I get to pick them.
Yeah, we took the more, and I took the less accidentally.
That's a bang.
Well, could be a good thing.
We'll
see. We'll see. Oh my God, he slipped short. Oh, BR with a question. Good, that's a good question right there. Good question. So now we got 4. Oh my, they're going for this coop.
Are they going tush push?
Oh, that's just brutal for me. Wish I was celebrating this.
No, they're not going. I don't think they're going.
We're watching South Florida Boise State.
No score. Oh, they went. You short?
And he's got stuff.
Yep.
Oh,
my God! What?
No, I
Okay,
think they fixed the spot. They fixed the spot. That's a tough miss for me there. Technically on pace, the number was 14. He's only has 2. It's gonna be done with quarter number 1. Hope by the next time they get it, hopefully. Ruski, I gotta be honest. I have to go back and watch the clip. I thought the clip was if he becomes a starter and is good. We don't know if he's good yet.
Who's this?
Jason Marshall Jr.
I know that he's good. He's not good. I know if he's good.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He's not good.
Like, I'm pretty sure the clip is like if Jason Marshall Jr. becomes a starter and is good. Like, we haven't seen him play a game yet, so I don't think the bet is declared yet, my Ruski. Let me rewatch it here if I can find it, and then we'll get shit started. Let's hear it. Here it is. See? You were right, Brewski. I said if he balls out and becomes a starter, but you're missing in a very important part there, Brewski, where it says he balls out, becomes a starter, and an above-average guy. An above-average starting corner. So I said he's got to become a above-average starting corner. That's what I said. I knew I said that he's got to become a starter and above average, or a starter and then above average player. That won't be able to be told until a little bit down the line. We'll have to see how he plays as a rookie. He could be absolutely horrible, and he's just only starting because the Dolphins' secondary sucks. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope he's good. I hope you win the bet. I want him to be good, and I want to be wrong. But we just got to see if he is good first. All right. I see that we got some couple questions in there now.
Kind of getting motion right now.
You are?
Yeah.
Which tweet?
I said this is child's play compared to the Luka trade.
Cooperstein's got motion.
Kind of getting motion.
Coop's got motion, folks.
All right. We are fanatics on this.
Yes, fanatics on this one.
And then the season long for the Q&A.
Yes, because it's going out after the slate is already done. Feed Sire Gaines. This guy's clearly their best guy. All right. Let's move on. Time to do a Dolphins record prediction final one. Seems like we got some good questions in. We'll check back in on where we are at going into the Q&A and if we need more. But I like what I'm seeing so far. Let's see if they get this 3rd and 1, though, first. I need Boise State to win this game by 6 points. Go Broncos, go.
Important to some.
Important to some. Shot Brent Musburger. Handoff. He got it, leaning forward. This guy's a bum. He's the one that fumbled on the... Oh, my spot. Are we serious?
Oh my God, they marked him a full half yard.
Sherrod sucks. Stop giving him the ball. He's the one that fumbled
horrible.
on the first possession. Get the Sire Gaines, dude. This guy's a dog. Let's work. Sire Gaines in. Sire Gaines is a little bit small, to be honest. I also don't like the way he's standing. Why does Boise State teach their running backs to stand up like that?
Yeah, that's how Genty did it too.
Gaines, first down. Let
That's
this
our
kid
guy.
work. Sire Gaines needs to find pay dirt today.
I love it.
College football.
We're back.
College football's back. Football's back. Awesome back. I mean, we're almost a week away from the game being played. How about that? Yeah, 1 week away from NFL football. A week and a half away from Dolphins football. How are we going to give Sire Gaines the ball on first down and take him out? This is a travesty among all travesties. Yeah, I think that's how they teach him. Oh, it's in the end zone. Touchdown. Pass interference at the 1. I saw a flag. Coop, don't. My eyes are undefeated.
Yours don't lie. Mine do.
Yes. My eyes, I don't miss a thing. Now, it will be half the distance to the goal, right? It won't be down at the 1.
If it's in the end zone, it would be down at the 1.
I don't think they're going to call interference in the end zone. I think it was like at the 3. So would it just be 15 yards to the 3? Spot foul.
Spot foul. Come on, Sire.
All right, sorry. We're going to watch to see how Boise State scores. I may have made a Prize Picks entry. Shout out Prize Picks, sponsoring a lot of shows today.
Use code CLNS.
CLNS. That features Sire Gaines to score a touchdown. Running back number 26 for the Boise State Broncos. What number did Genty wear? He wore 2, right? Yeah. Who's the running back? Sire Gaines from the 4. Why not? Let's get a push. Let's get a push, folks. From the 4. Get Sire Gaines in the end zone. Let's find pay dirt. Find pay dirt, folks. I also would be so upset if this ends up cashing and I'm miss out because I hit the wrong button. Sire Gaines. Get it to him. Hand off. Up the middle. Get in there, Sire. Sire.
Short. They're going to bring it the other back now, too.
You cannot bring him out. Leave him in. He's clearly their number 1. Clearly.
Come on, Sire.
I mean, that push on first down from the 5, I mean, that was a good run by the Broncos. Get another one in there, folks. Thank God my friends talked me off the over.
I know you guys love this content.
Thank God they talked me off the over.
Here we go.
Come on. Fumble. Down. He's
Short.
down at the 1. He's down at the 1. No, he's down at the 1. He didn't get him. Down at the 1. Down the inch line. Yeah. Sire Gaines. Don't take him out. Run the same play. Madsen, selfish, loser, tried to keep the ball. It was going to be, oh my God, he just dropped it. What a ridiculous play.
I'll tell you what.
Get to Sire. 3rd and goal. First of all, this is 4-down territory for a team like the Broncos. We're running twice here and we're punching the zone.
Oh my God.
I hate Boise State.
No way. Oh, we're having a discussion.
Encroachment.
Oh.
How do you have it at the 1? That is Sire Gaines' time, and then you
fumble
the snap, and then false start. I mean, that is just stuff that I want to cry about. They tried to quick snap it. That's why.
Yeah.
Scumbag fullback. The
DT jumped, though, and made a move.
How do you jump as a fullback? Sire Gaines is still in. Little reception never hurt nobody.
Maybe an outside zone.
They ain't running on 3rd and goal from the 6. They could toss the picks at that skin, though. Check down. Oh, yeah, alert.
Yeah.
Alert. Quick slant in the end zone, losers. I mean, I'll take it because I had Boise State 5.5, but that's just down at the 1. You need the running back to the other. Brutal. All right, let's talk Dolphins football again. 1 week until the football season gets underway. Let's give my final record prediction. We are officially 1 week away from the Dolphins starting their 2025 campaign against the Colts. And, well, no better time to do my final Dolphins 2025 record prediction. Welcome to Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff. And before we get into my record prediction, you want to potentially expose me? Well, you could. We could also maybe bless me because I'm right. Share the video. Help us out. We're trying to spread the word of Dolphins Today. So click share and get the party started here for the Miami Dolphins fans here this year. Share the video. All right, I'm giving us a win in week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts. I just truly do believe the Dolphins are the better football team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better roster. I think the Colts personally are going to be picking inside the top 6 this year. Daniel Jones is an absolute disaster. Sure, they have a solid defense, but I'm not that moved by it. I also think that with Daniel Jones, Anthony Weaver is just going to be able to put him in a box kind of offensively. So I don't really want to do score predictions for the games going forward, but for week 1, because we know what's pretty much going to happen, I'm going Dolphins win on the road against the Colts, 27-17. I feel very strong about the Colts taking a loss in this one. And I'll say this right now. The Dolphins lose to Daniel Jones and the Colts in week 1. I am canceling the season instantly. Week 2, I think, is a win as well, folks. Simply put, the Miami Dolphins own the Patriots in Miami. They beat them every year in Miami. And I know the Patriots are a darling this year for a lot of people and are a sexy pick to maybe sneak into the playoffs. I think they're very much improved. And it will be a battle in Week 18 when we travel to New England. But when it's in Miami, 1 p.m. in early September, Miami's going to win that game every time. Dolphins start off 2-0. I do have them losing to Buffalo, though, on Thursday Night Football in Week 3. Point is this, folks. I will not pick the Dolphins to beat the Bills until they beat them again. They beat them the first time under McDaniel in 2022 in that early September game. They've lost every time since. I am not going to pick the Dolphins against the Bills until they beat them. I want to be proven wrong, and then I'll think about picking the Dolphins against the Bills going forward. But the Dolphins start the first 4 games of the year 3-1. Why? Well, this is one of the best advantages you could get. You get a tough disadvantage here going from Sunday to Thursday night. But guess what? The Bills are doing the same thing. But what many teams don't get is a full-out mini bye. And the fact that you get a week and a half to come back home, play the Jets on Monday Night Football, wearing your rivalry jerseys, by the way. The Jets are, one, not a good football team. Plus, you're going to have a massive 4-day rest advantage to the New York Jets, who play that Sunday in Week 3. I just think Miami is going to be able to return home. They're the better football team with the rest advantage. They should be able to easily take care of an inferior team. So I've got the Dolphins starting the year 3-1. What is your confidence level in the Dolphins for the 2021 season? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Very curious to see what you guys have to say. Scale at 1 to 10. No rookie scores. All right, so we start the year 3-1. Now that we move on to the Carolina Panthers here, I'm giving us a win once again. Give me a W. Listen, the Panthers, are they going to be improved with Dave Canales, year 3 Bryce Young, drafted Ted McMillan, maybe added some more pieces defensively? Sure. But once again, the Miami Dolphins are the better football team. And I believe that after starting the year 3-1, this team will be playing with a lot of inspired confidence, going on the road in an environment that isn't going to be hostile. They get a win against the Panthers, start the year 4-1. How about returning home to the Chargers and winning? Maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit here, folks, but a 5-1 start for the Miami Dolphins. Why do I say this? Sean Slater, out for the year. That's a brutal loss for the Chargers. It's a big offensive tackle, one of the best in the game that won't be playing. Plus, I just feel as if we're going to get a regression by the Chargers this year. I just don't feel that confident in their ability to really put fear into me. Like, is their defense anything special? I don't think it is. I know they have a good, solid, offense with Herbert, McConkey, Keenan Allen, Amarian Hampton. But I just feel as if Miami's going to be able to get it done. I can't pick the Chargers to beat the Dolphins. I don't think Herbert's ever beat the Dolphins either. I hope I didn't just say a lie there. I don't think he has. So give me the Dolphins over the Chargers. And I'm going to take them to win again against the Browns. The Cleveland Browns, simply put, picking top 3 in the NFL this year. I think the top 3 picks are probably going to be the Browns, the Saints, who the Dolphins play, by the way, and who else could be in the top 3, Coop? What do you think? Saints, Browns. Honestly, the Panthers could be there again. Either way, Browns are not a good team. You should be able to beat that team on the road. And I'll say this. Playing the Panthers and Browns on the road, I would say that's good because those are 2 teams that are bad, and you want to play bad teams on the road. I do have us taking an L against the Falcons on the road. Producer Coop isn't very high on the Falcons, but I do think they got some juice to them, and Miami simply isn't going to be every team that they're on paper better than. I do think they're better than the Falcons on paper, but like I said, it's the NFL. Anything happens, and you're not going to win as the better team every time. So I have the Dolphins starting the year 6-2. I think Penix is solid. It's a tough offense to defend. Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts. I think they're going to be improved under Raheem Morris in year 2 as well. But the point is this. I have the Dolphins starting the year 6-2. I also believe it is imperative that they do start the year 6-2. 5-3 at absolute worst. They cannot, and I mean in all seriousness, not start the year worse than 5-3. The back half of their schedule is infinitely harder than the first 8 games. Last 9 games are kind of tough at times. So to give yourself some breathing room, to lose a couple more games in the back half of the year to the front half, you need to start the year blazing. 6-2 would make me very happy because you probably only need to end the year 4-5 to make the playoffs. You go 5-3, you probably got to go 5-4 to end the year to make the playoffs. And we'll be live for every Dolphins game, so subscribe today, join the channel. Me and producer Coop are going to be here every either Thursday, Sunday, Monday, maybe even a Saturday late in the year to break down Dolphins football with all y'all. So subscribe and join the channel. After a loss to the Falcons, the Dolphins play the Ravens at home on Thursday Night Football. Second Thursday Night Football game for the Fins. Another one where I have them losing. The Ravens are just an absolute juggernaut of a team. I think they're very good, and I know it's at home on a short week, which gives it a little bit more difficulty for Baltimore to steal a win. I just have a hard time envisioning us beating them, man. I think we could if everything goes the right way because our strength should be our front 7 defensively, and if you take away their running game, maybe that we can put up enough points on their defense, but I just think the Ravens are the better team here. They're my honest pick to get out of the AFC this year. So I think Baltimore gets a win. And I said it earlier, so you shouldn't be surprised by me giving the Dolphins their 3rd straight loss. This one against the Bills. I know it's at home. Prove it. Beat the Bills one time, please. And then we could have a discussion about me picking against Buffalo when they're playing Miami. But after the start of the year 6-1, I have the Dolphins losing 3 straight to the Falcons, Ravens, and Bills to go to 6-4. The Schneid stops there when they play the Washington Commanders. Remember, this game is in Madrid, not at home, even though it's technically a home game. They play on a neutral site. I think the Commanders might regress this year, folks. I know some people believe that. Fun fact, it's actually the oldest roster in football. A lot of people think they're young because of their quarterback, Jaylen Daniels. No. That's an old roster. They got Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz. I know they were able to get Don McLaurin. But that offensive line is not anything special. I think we're going to be able to get after them. I don't really believe in their defense that much either. They have a decent pass rush, but nothing crazy. The secondary is a major question mark as well. I think they win that game against Jaylen Daniels and the Commanders to end the losing streak and move to 7-4. Heading into their bye week, week 12. Good bye week. I like having a late bye. And then they come out of it back at home against the Saints. They will hammer the Saints. Absolutely hammer them. I said the Colts and Browns could be picking in the top 3 or 5. I truly believe the Saints are the worst team in football. They will. Maybe it's Tyler Shuck starting. Maybe it's still Spencer Rattler. Either way, that should, after a week off, be an absolute nuke job where the Dolphins win that game by 20-plus points. And I feel very strongly about that. So after the first 12 games of the season, I have the Miami Dolphins at 8-4, which means in the final 5, if they go 2-3, they could potentially make the playoffs. And we'll give you my predictions for those final 5 games, but $20 off a Miami Dolphins polo. You can wear them on game days. You can wear them going out to dinner. You can wear them at the golf course. Get yours today, chatsports.com/Dolphins polo sale. Love the little old school logo there. You can get it with black, white, aqua, orange, everything in between. One more time, chatsports.com/Dolphins polo. Links in the description and comments of today's video. After you hammer the Saints, you go on the road to play the Jets for the 2nd time this year. I had you beating them at home on Monday Night Football. I have you beating them on the road. I think the Jets are bad. And I know it's tough to sweep a team in your division unless you are that bad of a team. I think the Jets are that bad of a team. Justin Fields can't throw the football more than 5 yards down the field. Their offensive line isn't very good. I think their defense is overrated. Their secondary lost a big player in DJ Reed. Sauce Gardner's overrated. Defensive line is Either way, I think you beat the Jets twice this year. I don't think they're very good. So that moves you to 9-4 with 4 games to go. On the road against the Steelers, I think it's a loss. I actually don't think the Steelers are that good, if we're going to be honest. But the truth is, going into Pittsburgh on a Monday night primetime game in late November or December is going to be a train wreck probably for the Dolphins. So I'll give us a loss. That team is very good defensively, and they're a physical football team, which could give Miami some issues. So that loss moves us to 9-5. But I have Miami getting their 10th win at home against the Bengals on Sunday Night Football. That game could get flexed if teams are bad, but I think both teams are going to be fighting for a playoff spot in Week 16, so I'd expect a primetime game there. And I believe Miami wins. Cincinnati is a good team. They will be better than they were a year ago. But that defense is garbage. Garbage. I expect the Dolphins to easily be able to hang 30-plus points on that team. And yes, the secondary is not good, and you're going up against T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. But that offensive line in Cincinnati is also bottom 5 in the NFL. What's the biggest strength for the Dolphins? Their pass rush. So I think you might be able to limit that offense in Cincinnati by unleashing your elite edge rushers on them. I think it's going to be a tough, hard-fought game. It will be a one-score game, in my opinion. But I got the Dolphins getting the win at home on Sunday Night Football to move to 10-5. And then you host the Buccaneers the week after. It's a loss. That's a toss-up game as well. I think Tampa's a good ball club, man. Baker's been good, back-to-back division winners. Their defense is better than most people think. Their offense is electric. That's why I don't think we could beat them. I don't know how we stop them offensively. Baker Mayfield is having a resurgence in his career. The wide receiver trio of Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans, that is going to be hard to stop. And then you also have to worry about the running game of Bucky Irving and Rashad White. That's a tough team to stop there. I think Tampa comes into your building and gets a win to get you to 10-6 going into the final week of the year in New England, which I think is a loss. I do. I think Miami and New England are very similar. I think Miami is slightly better, but that game being in Foxborough in January gives me nightmares potentially. And the Patriots are a good enough team to get us and catch us slipping. And it's hard for me to predict the Dolphins sweeping both the Patriots and Jets. This has Miami going 3-3 inside the division, which I think is very fair. And in total, it has Miami going 10-7 on the year. I think that's a very fair prediction for this team. It can be a little bit better if things go right and they stay healthy. It can be a lot worse where they go 6-11. Like if Tua gets hurt again or you suffer major injuries on your defensive line, you can easily go 6-11. But with this record prediction, I had them going 10-7. And since you beat the Chargers and Bengals, I think in this record prediction, those tiebreakers come into effect and get you the 6th seed. Is 10-7 good enough to be the best wildcard team? Probably not. It's probably an 11-win team. But I do think Miami could easily be the 6th seed if they go 10-7. Round out the show with this. I gave you my record prediction. Let me know yours. What will be the Dolphins 2025 record? Scale it for me down in the comments section. I have 10-7. Let me hear your thoughts. And we'll be here for every game, like I mentioned, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel for daily Dolphins coverage and live shows every single game day. Subscribe and join the channel. I have 10-7.
10-7 is realistic.
10-7 I feel is very realistic. I feel as it's very realistic. Fair. I feel like that's fair.
Give or take either way a little bit.
Give or take. What's your record prediction, Coop? You saw mine, 10-7. What do you think about you?
I just have a hard time believing they're going to lose to the Falcons. But then again, let me go back.
I mean, I gave them a favorable toss-up, couple of toss-up games. Like Tampa is a toss-up game. I gave them an L. Toss-up game against the Bengals, gave them a win. Toss-up game against the Commanders, gave them a win. Toss-up game against the Chargers, win. And a toss-up game with Falcons, loss. So I think in the true 5 or 6 toss-up games, I have Miami going either 3-2 or 4-2 in the toss-up.
Look,
games.
I think you're right in the fact that it's the NFL, and you just don't beat the teams on paper. You don't beat every team on paper.
You don't beat every team on paper.
But if we're looking at paper, I think they're better than the Falcons.
I agree.
I think they're better than the Patriots.
I agree.
There's 2 more wins right there. That's 12.
Do you think they're sweeping New England?
But they're not. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, no, I would say 10's pretty fair. 12, probably their ceiling. I don't think they're going to be a losing record team unless Tua gets hurt.
I agree. Tua's a 65 or 67% win percentage quarterback.
Yep.
He doesn't lose when he starts. Someone asked, what are the 7 teams I have us losing to? Ravens, Bills twice, Falcons, Steelers, Buccaneers, Patriots. Those are 7. 7 good football teams. I'd consider those 7 teams are all good teams.
Yes, I would agree.
Or at least average. And by the way, every team usually that isn't elite, and I would not say Miami is elite, loses to at least one bad team. I gave Miami no bad losses.
No, I mean, the Falcons would be the closest thing to a bad loss as there is. But that's on the road, right?
Yeah, it's tough, man.
So, I think you're right, though. The biggest hammer jobs of the season are week 1 against the Colts and then against the Saints off the bye.
Yeah, I feel like Miami, even if they're a middle-of-the-pack team, coming off of the bye, will be like 11.5-point favorites against the Saints, and I will still take it.
Yep. Absolutely agree.
The only way where I don't take the Dolphins spread against the Saints is if Tua Tagovailoa is not quarterbacking the team. Like, if Tua is quarterback for the game against the Saints, they will win that game by at least 15 points.
I would think so.
Nate says Falcons will be one of our easiest games. Am I too high on Michael Penix? I think that he looked good in the end of the last year. I think that offense is going to be really good in Atlanta.
Is Kyle Pitts finally going to get it done this year?
But, like, you have to contend with Bijan. Drake
No
London is a dog, dude. I don't know. We'll see. Do we have enough questions, Cooperstein?
Yes, I think we are good. I might have to reset. Yeah, I got to reset the super chats real quick. But
We're going to round out the live show with a Dolphins Q&A. By the way, we're going to get a lot more of the Boise State game at the Loon.
Not really.
Dude, it's in the second quarter. We got 30 minutes left until 6.
Yeah, we probably got 30 minutes left of the show.
Nah. I don't think so.
Plus, got to make cuts and you got to push that out.
I say we're leaving work and it's still halftime.
Awesome.
Or early third quarter.
Yeah,
Point is, we'll be at the Loon for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Definitely.
So we get fourth quarter at the... Yeah, that game's at 4:30. That game's not until basically Cincinnati, Nebraska.
Yeah.
So there was no ever concern of not being able to watch a game. We'll get like a 20-minute break before Cincinnati, Nebraska.
All right.
We have enough questions?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool. All right, final segment on this Dolphins Thursday. Remember, folks, we're going to be live when the season begins every Monday, Thursday. Won't be live this upcoming Monday because it's Labor Day, but we'll be live next Thursday on the hours leading up to the first game of the season, and then we'll be live every Monday, Thursday, game day going forward after that. Let's just say this. We'll be live every day after game. So if we play on a Thursday night, we'll be live on Friday. If we play on a Monday night, we'll be live on Tuesday. So it's very game dependent, but normal week where we play Sunday, we'll be live Mondays and Thursdays. If we play on Thursdays, we'll obviously be live Thursday, Friday, and the previous Monday. So a lot of live shows coming this year. This will be a lot of fun. All right, let's get into the final edition. Remember, Super Chat, if you want your question in the mailbag, we have all the questions we need. So if you want to jump the line, you got a Super Chat right now to get on it. Either way, you're at the mercy of Producer Coop. Let's get it rolling, baby. Happy Labor Day, Dolphins fans, as we get into the final week until we get the season started. Let's do a Dolphins mailbag. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. And we're going to start with my guy, JB. This was filmed on our Thursday live show. Make sure you subscribe and join us every Thursday for our live shows. He says, just because I'm a Western New York fan, I'd like to know how you think Miami will fare against Buffalo in both games. They play in Week 3 in Buffalo on Thursday Night Football, and then they play in Week 10 at home in Miami. I have the Dolphins losing both of those games. I am sorry, and I hate to be negative, Nick, but I will not pick the Dolphins to beat the Bills until they do it. They beat them for the first time under Mike McDaniel in September of 2022, but then they've lost to him every single time since, whether it is in the regular season or in the playoffs. So they got to prove to me that Josh Allen isn't their daddy's anymore. Sorry, I know it's harsh. It's the truth. He owns us. Prove to me you can beat the Bills and Josh Allen, whether it's at home or on the road, and then we could have a conversation about how I view those two organizations moving forward. Shout out to BR. Which two Dolphins are you looking forward to seeing the most? One on offense and defense? Fun question. Defense, I'll start there. Chop Robinson. I know it's kind of a, I guess, boring pick because he's our first-round pick from 2024, had a really strong rookie season, top 5 edge rusher in football in the final 10 weeks of the year. But I just can't wait to see him, man. I truly believe he is going to be the cornerstone of our defense for years to come. And I'm really excited to watch him take that second-year jump, hopefully. Now, on offense, I have a hot take. I'm going Malik Washington. Like, I love Tyreek. I love Jaylen Waddle. He's my favorite player on the team. I love Achane. I love Ollie Gordon. But Malik Washington is going to be used in such a fun way. He's our gadget guy, end-arounds, screens, pop passes. But I think he's also shown that he has a lot of rapport and trust with Tua Tagovailoa as the slot receiver over the middle of the field, based off what we've seen in preseason and training camp. I think Malik Washington's in for a very big year. I think he's going to surprise a lot of NFL fans in terms of how well he actually plays this year for Miami, and I can't wait to watch it happen. And make sure you follow me over on Twitter. @Nic_Rohloff is my handle because we'll be tweeting about news, rumors, opinions, highlights, clips, everything you need around the Dolphins outside of our YouTube videos you can find over on my Twitter @Nic_Rohloff. Catch with a question. Would you trade Bradley Chubb for a corner? Have to depend on which corner it is. Like, if it's a legit top 35 corner in football, yeah, I probably would. If I'll be honest, like, if you could tell me I could trade Bradley Chubb for Greg Newsome right now, I'd probably do it. Or like Bradley Chubb for like a Denzel Ward, like Bradley Chubb in a 5th for Denzel Ward, sure. But I think Bradley Chubb is an integral part of what Miami wants to do defensively this year. They want to be dominant in the trenches defensively and kind of mask that secondary. And I know you would still have Jalen Phillips, Chop, and then Judon, and then you add a legit CB1 there, maybe. But I think this defense wants to predicate itself on getting after the quarterback and dominating the trenches. And Bradley Chubb's a key part of that. So I don't think I'm just willing to trade him. And you need depth at that position as well because of the injury history with Jalen Phillips. Because there's a high chance he gets hurt. There's a high chance Chubb gets hurt. And that's why you sign Judon. That's why you need those guys also surrounding Chop Robinson. Mr. Flakes. It's an intriguing icon you got there, Mr. Flakes. Who would be your comeback player of the year for the Dolphins this season? That's a good question. I mean, there's clearly two players you have to choose from. And we just mentioned both of them. It's either Jalen Phillips or Bradley Chubb. I mean, Bradley Chubb didn't play a game last year after he was recovering from his massive knee surgery that he had after getting hurt at the end of the 2023 campaign. And then Jalen Phillips only played in 3 games and a quarter before tearing his ACL. So those two edge rushers missed basically all of last season and are key contributors to this defense this year. So I would have to imagine one of those two, whoever has the best season, would be the pick. I think my prediction is Jalen Phillips. If Jalen Phillips stays healthy and plays 15 games this year or more, I think he's going to have an 8.5, 9 sack season. So I'll probably choose Jalen Phillips. Who you got? Week 1 is just under a week away. MIA for the Dolphins, IND for the Colts. Maybe I'm biased, but I think the Dolphins get a win by double digits. I think the Colts aren't that good, and I don't trust Daniel Jones. So give me the Colts to lose. Miami, MIA. Isaac with a question. New England is getting swept without a question unless Tua is hurt. I know that Tua beats New England every time they play them, and the Dolphins swept the Patriots last season with Tua missing one of those games. But the truth is this. The Patriots are one of the most improved teams in the NFL this season. They added Milton Williams. They added Stephon Diggs. They added Carlton Davis, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane. They improved drastically at head coach with Mike Vrabel, who raises the floor of that football team. And I know it sucks for me to say this, but I'm a big believer in Drake May. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he is going to take a step forward and unfortunately be their next franchise guy for the next 10 years. And I know it's hard for Dolphins fans to hear that, but listen, I'm not that biased. I can use my eyes to tell that the Patriots are a much improved football team from a year ago. And they, I think, are very similar to Miami. I think the Dolphins are better. Don't get it twisted. But I think they're very close enough to where they won't sweep them. I think each team wins at home. I think Miami beats them in week 2, Sunday, 1 p.m. Heat. And I think the Dolphins probably lose in New England in the final week of the year because it's going to be freezing cold in Foxborough, Massachusetts. So I know it's not great to hear, but hey, I do think the Dolphins split with the Patriots this year. We got more questions to answer here, but we got to tell you about our sponsor, which is Prize Picks, the daily fantasy sports app, where you can get in on the action for the Dolphins football this season. You can also take your favorite players like Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Doesn't matter. And with college football here as well, it is so fun to play on Prize Picks. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. You get your picks right, you cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks is the best way to get in on the action, which players are going off, which ones aren't. You make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long. I have an entry in for the first week of the professional football season. Take advantage of the free pick from Prize Picks. More than half a yard for Dak Prescott in the opening game. More than Joe Flacco passing yards and more than Demario Douglas receiving yards are the 3 that I'm going with for week 1. You can join me and take my picks. You can fade my picks, but download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Moving on, we got Danny May with a question. Just trade Reek for a second. Let's get Jordan Tyson next year. All right. I don't know a lot about Jordan Tyson's game, Coop. We're going to bring producer Coop on, who knew instantly he plays for the Sun Devils. I am just not in the business of scouting a ton of collegiate players. I know the big name, the quarterbacks, and some of the top guys like Caleb Downs. But, Coop, give me a little bit of information on Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, started his collegiate career at Colorado, then transferred to Arizona State, and he was Sam Levitt's #1 target last season. Now, he did get hurt in the playoff game. He missed the game against Texas, which they lost in overtime. Look, I think he's a really big physical receiver. He's 6'2", 200 out of Allen, Texas, and he had 1,100 yards last year and I believe 10 touchdowns as well. So he's an absolute stud. If I was Miami, I'd be scouting him, and I think that'd be a great pickup.
Okay, so I'll keep my eye on Jordan Tyson, Danny May. I'll also add this, that Miami will be in on a wide receiver next offseason. Whether you trade Tyreek Hill at the deadline or not, he has a $52.8 million cap hit next season. And you save $36 million in cap space if you cut him after the season. So if Tyreek Hill is traded, you'll obviously save that money and get a pick. If you don't and you play him this year and then just cut him after the year, you save that money anyway. The point is, Tyreek Hill will not be on the Dolphins football team next year in 2026. I feel abundantly confident about that. So I will probably be in the majority here by saying Miami will be eyeing wide receiver 2 next year. But who knows? Maybe Malik Washington is elite and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine ends up being productive. And it's just like, well, maybe we don't need to really address wide receiver high in the draft or in free agency because those two can complement Jaylen Waddle really well. More to come here with questions. We'll get over to Catch here in a second, but the 2025 NFL season is officially here. Subscribe today. Don't miss a thing of Dolphins football. I'm very excited for this upcoming season. Hopefully you guys are with me. Sub today and join me for every game. Speaking of Catch, here he is. If we start the year 2-4 or something around there, would you trade Hill or really anyone? Absolutely. I've said this. The Dolphins absolutely need to start the year at bare minimum 5-3. I hope that they're 6-2. It's certainly possible to be 6-2. I think they have a very favorable schedule. But if they are worse than 5-3 and they're like 4-4 even, I would consider trading people because the early parts of the schedule are so easy. So if they're below 500 around the trade deadline and people are calling for Tyreek Hill, offering a second or a third round pick, no hesitations asked because, like I said, he's not going to be on the roster next season. So why not get rid of him if this season isn't going anywhere, which it obviously would not be if you start that poorly. Predict it for me. What will the Miami Dolphins record be in 2025? Get down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. A couple more questions here coming in from BR. Do you think the Dolphins will pursue Ashtyn Samuel Jr. in the future? I probably lean no. Now, if you missed it this week, an update from Jeremy Fowler. Fowler reported that Ashtyn Samuel Jr. will have a CT scan in October. And once that scan happens, assuming he gets cleared to return to football, the teams will then reach back out to Ashtyn Samuel Jr. to potentially sign him. So he would not be signed until October potentially. Miami's cornerback room would have to be absolutely atrocious if they want to pursue Ashtyn Samuel Jr. at that time. So it's possible, but I am not projecting it by any stretch of the imagination. Ziggy Zag, does Tua have the ability to override McDaniel and call an audible? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So what usually is the case, if you are not familiar, usually Mike McDaniel or whoever the play caller is will not call just one play into the quarterback. I hope you guys know that. They will call multiple. And so many teams do it different ways to where they could send in a package and then have different plays that the quarterback can audible from that package. Or he could change up the formation if you wanted to, if you feel very good about the command from your quarterback. But yeah, like there isn't one call that comes in and it's just like, well, that's it. No, Tua, if they run a play to beat man and Tua recognizes pre-snap, hey, it's going to be cover 2 or cover 3, well, then he's going to audible the play into something from that specific formation and personnel that creates a cover 2 or cover 3 beater. So yeah, Tua has the ability to override McDaniel at any time and call an audible. Follow on Twitter. Like I mentioned, if you want more Dolphins content, that's the place to get it. And if you missed your chance to get on today's mailbag, well, you can ask me a question over on Twitter. Just go give me a follow at Nic_Rohloff. All right, that does it. Who you got in week 1? MIA for the Dolphins, IND for the Colts.
Ooh, that's catch fumble.
And it's recovered. No, they got it back. Wow.
The Dolphins are winning this football game.
Absolutely. I'm ready. I think Miami wins. Got just under 100 people watching. Hey, we'll still live. We'll stay live. If super chats come in, if no super chats come in the next minute, asking a question, we'll probably get out of here and enjoy the rest of our Thursday night. So up to y'all.
Can he go with the play McDaniel didn't call? Now that is, you would be betraying your coach, which is a little different. Like if McDaniel calls a play into Tua's headset and Tua just goes out there and calls a completely different play, that would not go over well. So I don't think we would see that.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, it's possible, but it's tough. I mean, like I said, there has to be complete and utter confidence and trust with quarterback head coach. Some quarterbacks probably have the ability to do that. Like a Mahomes, a Josh Allen, a Burrow. I can't believe I accidentally picked Weston on that. That's just right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Brutal. Brutal. I know super chats came in. Appreciate everybody that joined us on this live edition of Dolphins Today. It's been a lot of fun. Next time we'll see you live is a week from today on Thursday, just hours before the NFL season opener between the Cowboys and Eagles. We'll have videos going out every day between now and then, with most days having 2 of videos go out. Won't have 2 videos out Saturday, Sunday, Monday with the long weekend, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of next week, we'll have you covered. So see you next Thursday for Coop, for Rolly. Appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with us. Go Fins.
Adios.